What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the WARFRAME video. So, DE just dropped the hotfix 33.6.4, with this hotfix containing a ton of INCARNON buffs, the newest INCARNON weapons. So we'll be going over that today, showing all the changes in-game, and also there are some nerfs to the new Stynex augment and a buff to the new Frost augment, so we'll be briefly going over that too. If you enjoy these types of news videos and overview videos on patch notes and everything in between, make sure you're subbed to the channel. We do daily WARFRAME video uploads, build videos, news videos, etc., etc. Also, check out the live stream channel. I'll be live later tonight, probably with some WARFRAME, working on some new YouTube videos. Alright, so let's go into update 33.6.4. And not every new INCARNON got buffed. I think they forgot the Anku existed like the rest of us, but they did buff the Gammacor, Angstrum, Boar, and Gorgon INCARNON. So let's go and start reading over this stuff, and we'll interrupt to show each of these things that has changed along the way. A little over 2 weeks has passed since the new INCARNONs were added to the circuit, and you can buy them for plat. This has given players time to put them to work and share our thoughts and feedback with the dev team. We've seen much feedback consistent to requests to improve their INCARNON forms. So today's hotfix brings you tweaks to reduce the friction to charging transmutation and to increase the fluidity between modes. Paired with some of the general stat improvements and fixes, take them for another spin and see how they feel. So they say, try these out again now that we buffed them. I'll let you know, the Boar, it was already the best one. This Boar change is actually kind of nuts, so we'll have to go over that when we get there. Let's start with the Gammacor, though. First change to the Gammacor. Oh, by the way, these changes apply to the base variant of the weapon, and they'll also they'll note if it applies to the other variants of the weapon too. And they said, we will be reviewing the Anku INCARNON for our next hotfix. Yeah, you really should. Okay, that's why the Anku is not changed here. Alright, Gammacor. Charging the INCARNON transmutation gauge now is twice as fast. Increase the explosion damage of the INCARNON projectile from 620 to 660. And the Gammacor will have 800 explosion damage. Or rather, the Synoid Gammacor. Increase the crit chance bonus from Evolution 4 perk, Critical Parallel, from 6% to 10% on the Synoid Gammacor. That's the one I'm using, so I did get more crit on my build. Increase the crit chance from Evolution 4 perk, Survivor's Edge. That's the hybrid one, Status and crit. That's going to now give a 6% crit chance, or rather 6% crit chance on the Synoid Gammacor and 4% on the status chance. So I'd probably say go for maximum crit and increase maximum status chance of elemental balance to 10% on the Synoid Gammacor and 20% on the non-Synoid version. So what they basically did there is for the Synoid Gammacor and the Gammacor, they made the meter charge faster. They made it do more explosion damage. We got a viral heat build right now. And yeah, this thing actually is kind of okay for acolytes. And that meter charged up really fast. So that has more damage than before. You can put hemorrhage on this thing as it has forced impact, but they're not really the best impact procs. So this is technically more damage than before. Not that I was really writing down the numbers before, but yeah, that's the Synoid Gammacor INCARNON. Pulls enemies together, makes them explode, puts some cold damage on there. The main thing holding back the Synoid Gammacor INCARNON to me, it's not really the INCARNON form, it's the beam. The beam is single target, and if you put on a Seeker mod, that's going to tell your mod spot drained out. Like, for example, on this build, if I want to put on the Seeker mod for Punch Through, that'd be me removing Prime Heated Charge, which is actually a huge aspect of our damage here, because that's all of our die. So, I mean, the beam is fine for single target, but if the beam was chaining, it'd be an instant, like, yes, I will actually use this thing, because it does magnetic damage. It's like a magnetic Kuva did chaining damage, but it doesn't. It's single target. The INCARNON's kind of cool, but also, how many explosion guns do we got in this game? It's literally the Tenet Blink's alt fire, so. Okay, at least they buffed it. You know, like the crit chance on my build, what do they go to? Keep in mind, I have a crit chance ribbon. I have 122% crit chance on the primary beam, and 122% on the explosion, too, so. I mean, is that really, like, extremely OP? I have a crit chance ribbon and a pistol prime mod for crit chance? Probably not, so. That's what happened with the Gammacor. Let's move on to the next one. I don't remember what, it's probably the Gorgon, actually. The Gorgon one got a massive, massive change. Like, it makes the Gammacor change look like nothing even changed there. So, we'll get to that, though. Angstrum now will charge off direct hits instead of headshots to charge the transmutation gauge. So before, the Angstrum used to hit, like, headshots with the rockets, direct hits. Now you'll do any body shots with a direct hit of the rocket. The explosion will not build INCARNON charge, just to let you know. improved the tracking, speed, and targeting of the Incarnon projectiles, and added more ricochets off the wall to make it easier for them to land. Okay, it only ricocheted off the wall once before. I'm gonna go, let's go see how many ricochets it gets now. Yeah, it was literally only one ricochet before, off a wall. So we'll get the Angstrum Incarnon, Prisma Angstrum Incarnon. I did use this for level 10,000 the other day. You definitely want to have some armor strip using level 10,000. Let's just put it like that, because it wasn't doing very well against level 10,000 with no armor strip. Okay, so let's just go ahead and... So we can build up body shots now. Cool. And now let's see how many bounces we get. One... Look like 2 bounces. So it bounces 1 additional time. It used to only bounce once, now it bounces 1 additional time. That's cool. Yeah, I like this thing a lot, so... Maybe if you don't have an Angstrum, you haven't got the Prisma Angstrum Incarnon yet, give it a shot. They also did buff some of the other Incarnon options on the Angstrum as well. Like, for example, I think they gave it more crit chance and status chance for your options. So yeah, 1 extra bounce, that's quite nice. They also improved the homing, apparently, and speed and targeting of the Incarnon projectiles. They've made it where the Prisma Angstrom went from 6% increased crit chance to 10%. The hybrid one went from 4% to 6%. And they also fixed it being unable to reload the Angstrom after switching to Incarnon mode. So that's good. So yeah, Angstrom just got buffed in general. Mostly just gets more bounces and apparently faster projectiles. I mean, using it right there, I definitely noticeably stronger. So that's good. Now here's what I want to definitely show you guys: the Boar. The Boar Incarnon had one of its options changed. Elemental Balance. Apparently gonna do it for Survivor's Edge in the future too. Applies the same way the Strun Incarnon's status chance applies. So now the Boar Incarnon, I switched to this Incarnon just to show you. I usually use the crit one. They have massively buffed the status chance on the Boar Incarnon. So much so here's the choice right here: Elemental Balance. On my build, my Corrosive Heat build, I have 360% status chance on the beam. That's a lot. That's with 2 dual stats and a Galvanized Savvy. A non-status chance mod. So that's quite ridiculous. Let's see, with no... Or I guess with one dual stat, 288, and this is a purely heat beam. So let's go ahead and give this a shot right here. That's a lot of status. That's a lot of stats, and we have 55.8 with a bunch of pellets too. So we could proc a lot of stats from the primary shot too. And this build is meant to be used with Nourish. We can cast Nourish after I've just shown how much status chance you get. So a lot of status procs from one bullet. Get it charged up. Now the beam is going to drop status on them like crazy. That guy has over 500 heat procs on him. So as you can see, it's a lot of status. We throw a Nourish. This is a heat proc beam right here. It's multi-target too, so some of us have said it's not as good as the Torrid, and DE took that personally, so that's cool. Now remember, you are taking off the crit buff to get that, so you might want to get some more crit chance from an outside source, like Sedagoth's new augment. But yeah, the Boar Incarnon got buffed in a way I wasn't expecting, actually. They changed one of the Incarnon people weren't using as much, and just gives you a ton of status chance now, so that's cool. Moving on to the last one, we got the Gorgon. This one actually got changed, I'd say the most, personally. So one of the biggest things they did is that they removed the charge delay on the Incarnon projectile and replaced it with a fully automatic trigger. If you were someone that didn't use the Gorgon Incarnon before, you might have not realized that the Gorgon Incarnon mode was pretty terrible. It would actually just it was a charge shot and then it had delayed explosion. So multiple instances of waiting to make this work. They've changed that to become a full auto machine gun, a full auto heat machine gun. So let's give that a shot real quick. Okay, so it'll charge it as normal. They didn't change the damage or stats on it at all. They just changed the way that the explosion works. So I think they actually better change the AoE on the explosion. We'll read that really quickly before we end this part. So that's fully charged up. So now it is full auto. Not exactly the most fire rate. This is with a fire rate ribbon right now. So yeah, it's full auto. Now this is what it should have been the whole time. So if you got like a Wisp on your team, you'll be able to expend all that ammo really fast. It makes the Gorgon Incarnon a lot better, I'd say. For example, before, I would have had to manually charge each of those shots I just fired off. When you put it in perspective like that, it's like, oh yeah, this is a lot better. From manually charging a delayed explosion to full auto, just releasing a It seems like it's not delayed anymore, at least. Let me try it one more time. A little bit delayed still. A little bit delayed explosion. But hey, at least it's full auto. Fire rate is really slow. So I got critical delay and I've got a fire rate ribbon on here, so maybe in the future I'll throw out even more fire rate just to expend all that magazine quicker, but as it stands right now, I'm pretty happy with this build. So that's what they changed with the Gorgon Incarnon. It's now full auto in Incarnon mode. And they adjusted the projectile detonation times that it better matches the fire rate of each variant. Oh, so they spent their time making each of them take long. Each of them have different individual explosion delays. The Prisma is the quickest, apparently. So that's cool. Okay. General Incarnon fixes made it where the Evo 4 challenges. Complete a mission with each Incarnon weapon is now completed on the Felarx, Fenmore, and Praetos when using Incarnon Genesis weapons. That probably should have been the way the whole time. Okay. Fix the Siberian Incarnons. Okay, so these are just like fixes right here. Overguard changes. So here we go. Overguard will now protect you from Arctic Eximus slow auras. They didn't do that before, apparently, but now it does. Moving on, they have Styanax's Intrepid Stand Augment has been given a cap on Overguard, and I made a video on that a couple days ago. Basically, you could just have infinite Overguard from using your 4 on Styanax. And you still can, well, not infinite, well, you can still constantly get Overguard as Styanax. How about that? You will be now capped at 15,000 Overguard, which will scale with ability strength. So keep in mind that this, well, actually through their explanation on this first. Outside of maintaining the status quo, excluding Rhino skin, Iron Skin, the augment allowed for infinite amount of Overguard to be stacked effortlessly and quickly, which could trivialize challenging content and limit future design space. The survivability and team support element that players have been enjoying on Styanax is still preserved, just at a more practical level to discourage more dynamic gameplay. It discourages future designs, huh? I really hope that means that there's raids in the future. So now with my 268% power strength Styanax build, I have 40,000 Overguard with under 300% strength. So that's just how it is. Let's see if I'm going to unpause these guys. Let's see if they can actually kill me. They probably can. Alright, so let's go ahead and cast that. Get that Overguard out. Okay. I mean, he can still DPS while being basically invincible, so I would say that he's still totally fine. It's pretty much just a number change. So yeah, no problems there. Reminder, that Overguard right there applies to your teammates too, so that's probably one of the reasons why they nerfed this. Yeah, to your allies within affinity range too. So he's still pretty much exactly the same as before. Let's move on to Frost. So they did buff Frost Augment. Now it can just infinitely stack the, or not infinitely, it can stack the Overguard up to, what kind of cap we talk about? Do they have the cap on here? Let's see. Overguard granted by Frost Icy Avalanche now stacks up to cast up to 15k, which also scales with power strength. Okay. So that goes up to 15k with without power strength, like neutral power strength. So with a lower power strength build, I'm at like 15,600. Okay. So yeah, Frost at least can stack his up to 15k. I was getting about like, I think 700 or 800 per cast. For me on the Augment, it was pretty much just about an extra shield gate, honestly. And these guys are all frozen. I don't really care if they can shoot me. Now, if an enemy in the background was trying to shoot me, that would be a different story. Oh yeah, that status chance bump with that Frost build on the Boar Incarnon is quite nice. So I got 15,000 Overguard from one cast there. Very, very nice. So that's pretty good. I think we're almost done on the changes that are on this patch note. It was actually a pretty nice patch note today. Corrupted Jackal Undercough changes. Corrupted Jackal will now appear at stage 4 and onwards to make it, you don't have to keep fighting Jackal early on. That's good. Okay, and these are all just like little bug fixes here and there. I'm not going to go over every single one. So that is going to be your update 36 or 33.6.4. Overall, I think the biggest winners of these changes are the Boar Incarnon, if you go for the Status Incarnon. The Gorgon Incarnon now feels usable, so probably that's the biggest winner. And yeah, just messing with that Angstrum Incarnon a little bit, that seemed like that was a lot stronger now. So I'd say maybe check those out. The Gammacor feels exactly the same as before. The beam is single target, so I'm just not going to use it, period. And the Anku was not on here because the Anku needs a lot of work, apparently. The Anku will be in a future hotfix. So there you go, guys. Hope you guys found this video enjoyable and helpful. Go get your, I guess you could technically go buy the Angstrum Incarnon still at Cavallero. Go get your Angstrum Incarnon if you don't have it already. Go mess with the Gorgon if you wrote it off as being terrible like I did. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate all the support. Take it easy. Peace.